Oh, now, come on, girl, stop mucking about. It's past 4 already. And Penny, the apple goes on the head. With William Tell, the apple is on the head. Honestly, I don't know what they teach you in convents these days.
Right!
Oh. On second thoughts, I do.
But what am I supposed to do with this?
Don't tempt me. Now, aim it at the apple.
Okay.
Idiot. That's right.
Like that.
Go on, that's it. Just like that. Good.
Have you seen Mavis anywhere?
No, I haven't.
I can't find the bolt to put in the crossbow.
Well, it's got to be here somewhere, unless we've got a secret bolt snatcher around the place. Look for it, someone.
I found it.
Well, what's he doing in there?
It's sticking into your wife.
What?
Welcome to WHODUNNIT. Mrs. Stratfield is the one with an arrow stuck in her, and I promise you that it wasn't Cupid. Now, helping you to play this William Tell overture, we have 2 lady detectives, the Mrs. Anna Dawson and Janet Brown. And 1.5 scientists, Dr. Magnus Pike and Mr. Ted Mould.
Hello.
Now, remember that whoever is guilty is bound to lie, so don't believe all the flashbacks. Inspector Carter has arrived at the photo studio in a flash, which has nothing whatsoever to do with the fact that he's not wearing a raincoat.
If I may say so, Mr. Stratfield.
Oh, do call me Paul. Everybody does.
Mr. Stratfield, you all seem to be taking this very lightly.
Well, let's just say that my wife wasn't the most popular person around here. However, we don't condone to murder. What can we do to help?
Well, I won't have a forensic report for some time, but I think we can assume that your wife was murdered somewhere else and then put into that chest. Now,
I think we ought to assume that my wife was murdered in this studio.
Hey?
Let me do a quick summary for you, Inspector. It will save a lot of questions later.
well, I'm not.
No, of course you're not, Sunshine, so let me put you in the picture. Now, these are Stratfield Studios, jointly owned by me and my wife.
Ex-wife.
Yeah, that's the one. Mavis. Now, Sue, my assistant, can verify that Mavis was in here checking all the props in Studio A, while we were all working in Studio B over there. Here, let me show you. In here. Now, the only other room around here is that office round the corner. Any further questions, Inspector?
Yes. All right, we'll assume that it did happen in here.
For the moment.
Yes. Now, I'm here to find out who by and why.
Ah, motive. Well, that's easy. Mavis, my wife, had all the money. And on her death, I inherited half of it, which automatically makes me a suspect.
Number 1.
Yeah, that's clever. On the other hand, Mavis's brother, Ralph Reed, he inherits the other half, which automatically makes him suspect number 2. Now, as for these girls...
Yes, I'm sure I shall find motives as I go along.
Given time.
Now, Miss Rhodes, is it true that Mrs. Stratfield was working in here earlier on?
Yes. When I looked in for a moment, she was checking the props inventory.
Don't worry about it, Sue. The main thing is to get the film. The tea can wait.
Oh, I better just see if Mrs. Stratfield's in.
Yeah.
Are you getting on all right, Mrs. Stratfield?
Yes, I'm fine. You go and get on with Paul's first session. Hello, Jackie.
Hi, Mrs. S. I'll see you in a minute.
Don't be too long. Time's expensive.
And afterwards, I went into the office. I didn't see Mrs. Stratfield again.
No. Until you found her in the chest. Do you know what time you went into the office?
No, not exactly. Why? Is it important?
Could be. You see, I think we can assume that Mrs. Stratfield was standing when she was... what's the word?
Bolted.
Bolted. Quivered. And when she fell, she broke this locket round her neck. Must have hit on the floor.
That's a watch inside there.
Exactly. And it broke at 3:10, which luckily gives us the time of the murder. Where were you at 3:10, Mrs. Stratfield?
Well, I can't tell you exactly, but I must have come in sometime after 3. Yeah, 'cause I know I was running late. Is my wife working in there? Good. Then I'll start working B. All set, girls?
Here we are.
Come on, let's have a look at you. Oh, yeah, average.
Look, we can't start till Sue brings the film down.
Oh, well, go and hurry up, will you, Jackie? Honestly, that girl's such a scatterbrain. Right, let's try some angles, Penny. Now, put your hands right round there. That's good. Now, flash the brush a bit. Good. Now, swing round and put your hair right over your face. Do that again. That's terrific. Do it again. Good. And again. And after that, I didn't leave Studio B till about 3:45, when we all came over here to Studio A for the next setup.
Did you get all that down, Constable?
Yes, sir. It is bolted.
Miss Meredith, where did you go to when you went for the film?
Oh, not far, Inspector. You see, Sue had already got the film from the office.
All set, girls?
Here we are.
Let's have a look at you. Turn round. Oh, yeah, average.
Look, we can't start till Sue brings the film in.
What? Oh, go and hurry her up, will you, Jackie? Honestly, that girl's such a scatterbrain.
Oh, good. Watch out. Look, never mind the tea. It's the film he's screaming for.
Don't panic, it's here on the tray. Can you do the door for me?
Okay. What did you bring the sugar for? None of us take
Just
it.
some turns. That's
I
good.
know,
Now,
but
put
Ralph
your hair
Reed
right
might
round
want
the
some
face.
later
That's
on.
nice.
Go on.
Now lift your leg, Penny. No, higher.
And as far as I know, none of us left Studio B until we'd finished the session.
Not entirely true, darling, but we'll come to that later, no doubt.
There is one point of interest. I take sugar in my tea. Do you think you could pop and make us all a cup?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Does that mean you've cleared Sue of suspicion?
No. Means I want to find out how long it takes her to get back here.
Welcome back to the Stratfield murder case. Paul Stratfield's wife has been found with an arrow stuck in her, yet there are no Red Indians in the cast. And Inspector Carter, one of the slickest techs in the yard, electrified us all at the end of the first act by asking for a cup of tea. This is obviously a new approach to crime detection. He can see something in the tea leaves.
Now then, Mr. Stratfield, you were saying that somebody did leave Studio B.
Well, I don't know if it's important, but for what it's worth, yes. You see, I was in the middle of a session, photographic. Good, I like that one. Lick your lips, lick your lips. Yeah, I like that. Oh, just a minute, your bra strap's showing. Can you fix it? Yeah, I'll do some shots with Penny. Come on, Penny. That's right. That's good, I like that. Hold that, that's right. Throw your head back again, throw your head back again, I like that. I'll do some in black and white. Can I have the black and white camera, Sue? Right, some in black and white. That's good, yeah, I like that. Right, could you shift that light round, Sue?
Do you mind if I go and feed my parking meter? I won't be a second.
Oh, all right, but hurry up, will you? Have you got any change for the meter?
Yes, thanks. Won't be a second.
All right. I don't know how we're going to get this finished. It's 25 past already.
Why are you so keen on saving her a parking fine?
I'll give her a chance. I mean, there she is, head over heels in love with Ralph Reed, and he's certainly got no money left. Do you know, I bet she's keeping him at the moment.
Won't Mavis help him?
Oh, not a chance. It's sink or swim for our Ralph. Oh, I like that. Just a minute. Oh, Sue, could you reload this for me, darling? That's very nice. Yeah. Give us a kiss while no one's looking.
What, and ruin my makeup?
You never said that last night, did you?
Oh, all right. I still love you.
And I love you too. But till I get my divorce, we've got to be cool.
Camera reloaded.
Oh, right. I'll do some shots as you are, Jackie.
Okay, right.
All right?
Yeah.
Right, hold up one of them plats. Yeah, I like that.
See, that didn't take a minute.
No, but you are out of breath, which is exactly what we don't want for brash cool.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Stand over there and relax for a minute. I'll do some shots with Jackie. All right? Yeah, I like that.
Can I come in?
You already are in. Did you Help Penny with her meter.
Meet her?
Yeah.
No, I must have missed her. I was in the loo for a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah. Hold out that flat again. Yeah, good, I like that. And so you see, Inspector, that's how the little incident occurred. In all its boring detail.
Yes, very boring. Mr. Reed, apart from being Mrs. Stratfield's brother, how do you fit into all this glamour business?
I have nothing to do with it. I have my own employment agency, and I didn't arrive here until it was all over. I must have been in my office at the time of the death, and my office is 10 miles from here.
Uh-huh. Were you with anyone?
No, I was having a photograph taken for a trade magazine in my office.
Oh, well, if you'll just give the constable here the name of the photographer, I won't have to bother you any further.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can't.
You can't?
If I may explain, Inspector, you see, Ralphie boy here has been a bit down on his luck. Business not doing too well. You know the sort of thing. So to save him money, I lent him one of my automatic cameras.
Automatic?
Yeah. You set it on a tripod, you set the timing switch, sit in front of it and take your own picture. Click, like that. I offered to do it for him here, but, well, naturally, Ralph wanted a picture of himself in his own office.
Which means, Mr. Reed, that your only witness
is a pen tax. But don't worry, Inspector. A camera never lies.
Yeah, so they say. Miss Rhodes, I want to check back on something. You said you went into the office.
Well, I did, I can assure you. In fact, Mr. Stratfield was the one who saw me go there.
Is my wife working in there? Good. And I'll start working B.
I couldn't remember where I'd left the film stock at first, but it only took me a minute to remember.
Mm-hmm. Which drawer did you leave it in?
This one. It's my own drawer. Silly of me to forget.
Excuse me? Who's this then?
That's my father.
Really? I remember that face. Dr. Raphael. He committed suicide after a big scandal. I worked on the case. He was ruined by a magazine.
Scoop magazine. If it hadn't been for them, he'd still be alive.
Hang on a minute. Scoop magazine was run by my wife before she met me.
Yes, I knew that.
Did you, Miss Rhodes? Then you were out for revenge?
Yes. But not murder. That was too good for her.
Incidentally, what was the time on that stopwatch?
4 minutes, 37 seconds.
Oh, excuse me. Ralph, this came for you.
Oh, these must be the pictures I took of myself. I asked for express service, but this is ridiculous. Just a minute. This is a bit of luck. Look, Inspector, you see the clock in the background? That proves I was there at 3 o'clock. And it's 10 miles away, so I couldn't have been here by 10 past.
Very true, Mr. Reed. Very fortunate, if I may say so.
Unless, of course, someone flopped the negative.
Flopped it?
Yeah, printed it round the wrong way. Let me show you. You see, Inspector, this clock has no numbers. So if you were photographed at 9 and then flopped the negative, it would appear to be 3. There's nothing else in the photograph to suggest whether it had been flopped or not.
What about the plants? They're different.
Anyone can change plants around?
What a ridiculous idea.
Oh, I don't know, Mr. Reed. Here, let me show you.
Want a comb?
Now, there you are, sitting in your office at 9 a.m. this morning.
Are you accusing me of being a liar?
Not necessarily, but it's one way of destroying an alibi.
Yes, well, I think I can safely say that what Inspector Carter knows about crime would fill a book. Mind you, what he doesn't know about crime would fill a library. As you can see, the suspects are now with us. So, panel, is there any part of this flashbang wallop that you'd like to see again? Ted, what would you like to see?
I'd like to see the bit just before the inspector sets the watch to see how long it takes to make the tea.
Right, you shall. Anna, what would you like?
I'd like to see the bit where Sue goes into the office to make the tea and plugs in and all that.
Sue plugs in and all that. make the tea. Right, Magnus?
I want to see Mrs. Stratfield lying in the chest with an arrow stuck in her front.
Yes, quite.
Yes, that bit, you know, before we started, really.
How very morbid of you, Doctor.
No, I have a purpose.
Oh, good. Yes, I'm glad to hear that.
To build onto my hypothesis.
Yes, Janet, what would you like to see again?
Well, I would like to see the scene where the two girls are being photographed at the beginning, when she has the apple on her head and Jackie is having problems with the
crossbow.
With the crossbow.
Right.
I like that scene too.
Good. Well, while we're finding those clips, let's have a question from each of you. Ted, let's have a question, please.
Well, Paul, may I ask Paul a question?
Sure.
Judging by your camera work in the studio, Paul, I reckon you make a marvellous dancer. But what I want to ask is, what exactly...
Not me. I got 2 left feet.
Yeah, really? Oh, amazing. What exactly is brash cool?
What stops your arms from waving about? You know what I mean?
Oh, dear.
It's a sort of deodorant. Keeps you cool. Yeah.
Cool. Calm, collected.
Brash cool.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Anna.
Inspector, why should the body be standing up when it was killed? I mean, it could have been quivered and then fell in afterwards. I mean, or it could have been quivered in the box.
One, from the angle of the bolt, miss, it suggested it, and also the locket was broken.
Yes, because
so
it broke.
It's a fair assumption that it broke when it hit the floor with the body falling.
I think so, yes, Magnus.
Okay.
Oh, no, I understand that from him, but I want to ask Ralph, now you, sir, what wrist have you got your watch on at the moment?
My left hand.
Do you always have it on the left hand?
Oh, yes.
You've never had it on the right hand?
No, it feels strange.
It would, but I mean, can you not consider, think of a situation within the last, since this murder came up on the scene when you've had it on the other hand?
No, I can't.
No, you sure? You're telling me that? Well,
Thank you very much indeed, yes.
Not at all.
There we have the buzzer, and that means we're ready for the first replay, which is yours, Janet. You asked for the part before the murder is discovered, when Penny and Jackie were trying to work out what to do with an apple and a crossbow. Well, I could tell them. Watch the screen.
Go on, that's it. Just like that. Good.
Oh, have you seen Mavis anywhere?
No, I haven't.
I can't find the bolt to put in the crossbow.
Well, it's got to be here somewhere, unless we've got a secret bolt snatch.
There you have it, Janet. You look worried.
Yes, I am a bit
Didn't it help?
Well, I don't know that it did. I thought to begin with that it did. I had something going up here in my mind, but I've changed my thoughts about that. But I wanted to ask Jackie and Penny, are you friendly with each other? Do you have a really good, happy relationship?
Oh, yes, we get on very well.
No jealousies? or
No,
anything
no.
like that?
No, not at all.
No. That's all I want to ask.
Thank you,
them.
Ted.
I'd like to ask Sue a question. When you interviewed the corpse, Mavis, and she said...
I interviewed her.
Well, I mean, before her unfortunate demise, and then you rushed off, you bumped into something with, I think it was either your left or right
knee.
pelvis. Oh,
My
knee.
knee.
What was it you bumped into?
Some boxes.
And what emotion did that induce in you? Were you... did you swear, or what?
I did rather, yeah, I was rather annoyed.
What with?
The boxes.
I mean, boxes inanimate. Were you annoyed with somebody leaving them or annoyed with yourself?
Well, both, really.
Oh, thank you.
I think you bang into something, you get annoyed. You don't have to get annoyed at the boxes or annoyed with yourself.
Yeah.
You just get annoyed and you say a rude word. Usually, being a lady, she didn't. She went, whoops, or something like that. Yes, Magnus.
Well, this business about finding the film in your private drawer, how did it get there? Now, have you considered that now you've had a chance to think about it more quite?
I'd left it there.
But how did it get there in the first place? I mean, where do they normally keep the films?
Well, I'm in charge of the film, and I kept it there.
But from the word go, you sure? You're telling me the truth, are you? Did anybody see you put it in your drawer?
I shouldn't think so, no.
Oh, well.
Well, there you are. Yes, she could be telling the truth. On the other hand, she could be lying. It's up to you to work out, isn't it? Yes, Janet.
Well, I'm a bit worried about Sue. With that tray, Sue, when you were carrying the tea in and that bag of sugar, because there's another shot where Ralph walks in unexpectedly to Paul. He says, well, you're here anyway. Why did you presume that he would be in the studio? Why did you assume he would be there to serve him tea?
Oh, well, he's always coming in asking for tea.
Really? Although Jackie seemed a bit surprised at seeing the bag of sugar.
Well, he usually comes in the afternoon and wants a cup of tea. So,
But the others don't know that setup, only you, because she wouldn't have asked you why there was sugar there otherwise, would she?
No, but he's always wanting tea. He comes
I
in all
see.
the
It's
time.
just like that. Thank
Yes,
you.
I think that, Janet, of course, these models, they don't work there all the time. They only come occasionally.
Oh, I
so
see.
they probably wouldn't know that.
Thank
see?
you. Yeah.
Yes, that's the buzzer for the next replay. And this is for you, Magnus. You requested another part of the opening teaser leading up to the actual discovery of the body. So watch this and see if you can work out what blood type it is.
I found it.
What's he doing in there?
It's sticking into your wife.
What?
Well stuck into the wire. Would you like me to move the monitor a little nearer to you?
I wanted a good scrutiny of that. Now, Inspector, your attention, please. You said that you thought that the body had been in a vertical position when shot by the bolt.
Yes,
What
sir.
made you say that? Wouldn't while you're collecting your thoughts, wouldn't you have thought if it had gone dung and a lot of blood had come out, it would have all gone dribbling down in a vertical... I mean, the law of gravity says that blood comes streaming down the front when you're...
Not between the time of the bolt striking the body and the body lying on the floor, sir.
Well, anyway, suppose it was on the floor and there were the gushings of blood, would you agree? A fair amount of blood. A certain amount of gore on the floor. Now, what is your hypothesis? How did Mrs. Streatfield get into the chest? I mean, the bolt was in her chest, but how did she get into the chest?
That is for you to discover, sir.
Yes, but I put it to you, Inspector, don't you think it took two people, one at the head and one at the feet, to lift her up into the chest? You couldn't ask a victim to go and lie in the chest and then be shot.
No, sir.
Yes.
I mean, you're the detective.
She was not a large woman, sir.
Yeah, but even if
She
you have a
wasn't a
small
heavy
woman, you sort of tumble her about a bit when you're trying to get her into the chest, don't you think?
Yes, Ted.
Well, I was going to ask Jackie, when you were snogging in the studio with your boss, you know, while Sue was nipping out to reload, was that after you got the film? Well, it couldn't have been. Was the reloading?
Should we have a little pause while you have a quick lie down? I'll ask somebody else.
Could have been a cotton wool
Rephrase that
vest.
question, please.
Yes.
I'm a little confused now.
No, he'll rephrase it in his mind. I'll ask Anna to ask a question, rethink it.
Sue, you went straight to the box, opened it, and as though you knew where the body was, with an awful grin on your face, I might say.
Yes, I'm a bit ashamed about that, actually. I didn't...
I mean, you sort of went straight and opened it and...
Well, there wasn't really anywhere else to look for the bolt.
Really?
Yeah, it could be on the
Could have
floor
looked in
under
your
something.
drawers again.
Well, I could see the floor.
Or in one of your drawers, yes.
Janet, you have a question.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
right, sorry. You will have one immediately after this. This is for you, Ted. You wanted to see, or is it time, the scene when the inspector gets a stopwatch out of his pocket to check on how long it takes Sue to make a cup of tea.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Does that mean you've cleared Sue of suspicion?
No. Means I want to find out how long it takes her to get back here.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yes, Ted.
Might have been quick brew, I suppose. But
no advertising.
Oh no. What I would like to, if I may rephrase the phrase to the question
please
to Jackie.
do.
Was the reloading after the first loading? I suppose by definition it was.
I should imagine so, yes. I don't really know too much about that side of it.
You don't?
No. I'm, just in front of the camera, really. I don't really know.
Well, let's
much.
leave that aside. Could I ask Paul another question?
Yeah, please.
Had your wife got a sweet tooth?
How do you mean?
Well, did she take sugar in her tea?
No, none of us did. The only person that took sugar was Ralph.
I see.
Yes, Janet, you had a question.
Well, Paul, can I just say I think your photography is very good. It looked very interesting.
Thank
Have you ever thought of doing any work for the Conservative Party?
Well, I'm very liberal, miss, you know. Very liberal.
I'm glad to hear it. No, what I was wondering, Paul and Ralph, you're generally quite friendly with each other, would you say?
Well, he's all right, you know. It's whenever I employ Penny, I know he's going to be popping around because, well,
Yes.
They're a
Only
bit
I'm rather
friendly.
puzzled. At one moment you're supporting him in front of the inspector by saying, well, things aren't so good in his employment agency. Are they bad at the moment, Ralph?
They're not so hot.
Why?
Well, it's the general situation, you know.
Oh, really? Yes, so you were supporting him there, and then a few seconds later you were saying that if they flop this picture...
Flop the negative.
Flop the negative,
negative, yeah.
in which case you're not supporting him anymore. You're really trying to put him in the soup, I would say, aren't you?
Well,
What would you say to that?
well, I don't know. I didn't want to put him in it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
Well, you were doing quite
at the
well.
same time, I'm...
You want to keep him out of it.
Yeah. That's all for the moment, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, Magnus?
Well, Sue, now wait a minute. Your father, your dead, suicidal father, what was his name?
Dr. Raphael.
But what's your name?
Well, my name's Rhodes. Sue
How does
Rhodes.
that come about, if I may ask, please?
Well, I had to change it.
She got married.
You did?
No, I didn't get married, no.
Why did you have to change it?
Well, because of the scandal.
Oh, tut-tut.
That's
Well,
reasonable.
can I ask what's his name? Can I ask... oh,
Sorry?
I can't.
No. There we go for the next buzzer and the next replay, which is yours, Anna. You'd like to see part of Sue Rhodes' flashback when she goes into the little office to make tea and seems to get a bit confused with her drawers. You'll see what I mean. Yes.
Very suspicious.
Yes, there were two drawers. You opened one of them, and you sort of looked round, furtive-like. Then you went to the other one, which your father's photograph was in, which you said was your drawer, and you kept everything in. And you opened it very slowly. First of all, why did you open that drawer very, very slowly like that? When it was your drawer and you knew everything was in it, and you didn't have to look for anything. It was very slow.
Well, I knew that my father's photograph was in it.
Yes.
And I just wanted to make sure that I could hear if anyone was coming in behind.
I see. And what was in the first drawer that made you look round?
Nothing. I mean, nothing of importance.
Oh, she just thought she heard a noise, so she turned round. Yes, Ted.
Ralph, how much brotherly love have you got for your for Mavis, the one with the cotton wool vest?
Well, not a lot, really.
How come?
Well,
She's leaving you the boodle.
Well, yes, but she was very difficult about lending me any money because of my affair with Penny.
How
said-
would your affair with Penny be objectionable to your sister?
Well, she said that I was squandering all the money she was giving me.
On Penny?
On Penny, and said that we would have to break up if she was going to give us any more.
I see. So you weren't going to get any until she'd actually hit the dust, or hit the chest, or whatever.
Maybe.
Yes, Magnus?
Well, now, I want to ask Mr. Paul Streatfield, deeply suspicious.
Call me Paul, call me
Yes,
Paul.
of course.
Everybody does.
Well, Mr. Streatfield, when...
Stratfield.
Stratfield.
Yeah.
When did you lend the automatic camera to Ralph?
He came in the day before.
Ah, you lent it to him the day before?
Yeah, that's right, because he wanted to take a picture of himself.
Oh, you did
Yeah.
you? Yes, quite. Yes.
Yes, Janet.
Well, yes, I'm very curious about this taking of pictures because Ralph said practically at the beginning of his conversation with the inspector that he knew nothing about photography. He said, it's not my... I don't know anything about this business. How did you come to be so clever taking this picture when you knew nothing about it?
I don't know anything about it. Paul showed me how to do it, and
Yes.
basically all I had to do was press the trigger.
He showed you all...
Is that what they mean by a mug shot?
Probably.
There goes the tinkle tinkle. That is the little bell, which means that you should have by now developed your answers. So I would like you to write down your negative guesses and any enlargements that you may have spotted. Meanwhile, it's time for your private showing of a clue, which may prove once and for all that you've been completely wrong up to now. But don't worry, just watch this very carefully, and then I'll pose a little question afterwards. All right?
Long. Time's expensive.
The question is, what happened next? Now, that should help you. Right, may I have your cards, please? Thank you, Janet. Very interesting. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. Good. All right, I now have your amazing guesses in front of me, so you can't change your minds. All right, Ted, who done it and why?
Well, I believe Paul, and I also believe Ralph, that he wasn't there when the murder was committed, which we assume was 3:10, I'm not convinced about the photograph that was flipped or flopped. I think that's genuine. Jackie left the room to do the meter, but that was after the film had been collected by Sue, and I think the culprit, the murderer, is Sue, who went out to had 4 minutes to do the old girl in with the Mavis, and then when she went out a second time to reload, just to see to her own satisfaction that rigor mortis had set in and probably push her a bit lower down and batten the lid down.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Yes. Anna Dawson, please. Who done it and why? In 25 seconds.
Well, I think Sue did it in revenge for her father's suicide, which Paul was involved in. And I think the detective, I think she knew him very well. I'm not even sure he was a detective, actually. We never actually saw his credentials, if you pardon the phrase. And also because I think she knew he took sugar, too. That's why she brought that extra cup of sugar for him.
For the detective. Right, Magnus.
Yes. I think it was Sue and Paul in collaboration. That Paul took the feet and they dumped her in the thing and they jabbed her. Yes. Now, the reason why I think that is I think that all this business about Jackie and Penny was just for fun. I'm sorry, my dear, I don't think he had any serious intentions at all. I believe he had a thing for Sue. She was not a bit surprised when she opened the chest, as if you found dead proprietors with things quite all the time. Wait a minute, I have another thing, because this...
It'll have to be quick, because otherwise I
portrait wasn't turned the other way round, because he still had the thing on his left wrist, and if it had been in the mirror, you're right there, you see, it would have been on the other wrist.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Magnus.
Revenge for her brother, yeah, quite, yes.
Be quiet! Janet Brown.
I've forgotten what I want to say now.
I'm sure you have.
I think it was Ralph.
Ralph?
Yes, because he came into that studio unexpectedly, which was really a bit upsetting to start with. And if he were going to reverse this photograph, which the inspector said is possible, the inspector held up a mirror. He would need to have had help to do this sort of thing, in which case, when Penny left the studio supposedly to go for her car, I think she went along and helped him with this photographic thing, which took place then, not at some other period. And I also feel that together they were then able to go back and put her into the box, because for one person to do this job quickly, drag her, get her in, settle her down, too much. So I think it was a put-up job between the two of them, so that he would get the money and they would get together and live happily ever after.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much indeed. Good. Fair enough. Well, that's what they think. Let's see who is right. Will the real whodunit or whodunits stand up, please? Why are you doing that?
I just want to remember their faces when I come out.
All right. Thank you very much indeed. Well, I'm afraid the only person that got it even remotely right was Magnus Pike. He said, well, you got it half right, didn't you, Magnus?
Yes.
Which is better than the last couple of times. You weren't absolutely dead on the button. Good. Congratulations, everybody else, but wrong. Right, here are the details. The murder was timed at 3:10, so you can forget Penny, as she didn't go out to the parking meter until 25 past. Jackie had no opportunity, and Ralph's hair parting is on the same side as in the photograph, so he was telling the truth. But there were 3 clues which should have led you to Paul. Firstly, during his own flashback, Paul lied. He pointed to Studio A and exited to B. But in Sue's flashback, although he appeared to be doing the same, he actually exited into Studio A. Things are the wrong way round in a mirror. The second clue. In his story, he had 2 letters which he exited with. But in Jackie's flashback, it showed no letters when Paul entered. And clue number 3, Paul apparently entered Studio B as Sue went off to make the tea, yet immediately afterwards, he sent Jackie out for Sue, who was already back with the tea made immediately. So Paul must have had between 4 and 5 minutes somewhere. And that is when he murdered his wife. Now, next week, a gun is fired point blank at Mr. Cunningham. And yet he doesn't feel any pain for another 20 seconds. Is this the slowest bullet in history? If so, why isn't this programme in the Guinness Book of Records? Meanwhile, it's good night from our panel and our cast. And incidentally, talking of records, yesterday James Milner of Ruislip broke the world underwater skiing record in 11 hours, 25.7 minutes. The funeral is on Thursday. Good night.